It is the 7th of May 2020 and we are approaching the end of week 7 of lockdown here in the UK. Now, Boris Johnson is due to address the nation on Sunday evening to outline how the lockdown will start to be eased. At this stage, we don't know precisely the form that this easing will take, but common sense would suggest that it will come in stages, probably some very specific and gradual stages. There is undoubtedly a very delicate balance to be struck between the need to reignite and kickstart, to support, and in some cases, truly salvage the economy and begin to move forward, with the continuing very serious health risks. Avoiding a second wave of infection, avoiding a second spike in the virus, which would render all of our efforts and sacrifices over the past 8 weeks or so pointless, is paramount. Yesterday, the coronavirus death toll here in the UK reached 30,000. And while we can become somewhat desensitised to these ever increasing figures, especially as they're reported each and every day with such regularity, there is something about that round figure that acts as a marker. It's significant. It raises many questions which are impossible to ignore. Despite this, focus in some quarters has seemed to be misguided of late. Today's front pages, for example, I'll read you 4 in a second, I think are very, very damaging, very dangerous. The Sun ran with "Happy Monday, go out to exercise all you like, pubs and cafes plan to open gardens." The Daily Mail, "Hurrah, lockdown freedom beckons." Daily Star dubbed May the 11th as Magic Monday. And Daily Express, "First steps to freedom from Monday." This isn't about suddenly opening the floodgates. Life will not return to normal overnight. Of course, it'll be interesting to see the data from next week to see how, and to hear anecdotally, how society at large is acting following the Prime Minister's address on Sunday. And of course, it's only Thursday. The easing plan, the lockdown alterations that may be coming, haven't yet been finalised. They may likely change between now and then, depending on the latest figures that are released and scientific advice. It's hard to believe, but it's been 45 days since Boris Johnson announced the UK would enter lockdown, and 48 days since the forced closure of pubs, restaurants, gyms, theatres. Life as we knew it hasn't been possible for so long now, and we've all had to adapt and find new ways of working, new ways of socialising, exercising, existing. I don't think we should underestimate how resourceful and how adaptable we are and have been over the past 2 months or so. Now, I approach this discussion from a mental health standpoint, and it's important to recognise that this period is affecting us all in different ways, and we're all finding our own way to manage the days and to get through. I'll say again that there is no rule book on how we are supposed to deal with, work through, manage this new normal. Please keep telling yourself that. You've done well for 45 days. You've made it work for you and those around you. And regardless of what is announced on Sunday, you have the strength to continue to do so. I've had another tricky week where I've had to really fight to ground myself. The idea of life post-lockdown still makes me really anxious and has raised so many of my insecurities and a lot of issues that I have to deal with and confront. many of which I've spoken about before and written about. Self-worth, defining oneself, where I place myself in the world, dealing with living, dealing with the desire to achieve again, to succeed, to move forward, but feeling unable to, feeling ill-equipped. There's a lot that I need to work through, a lot to unpack. And having this time, a lot of it on my own, with my own thoughts, has been difficult. But it has made me realise that I really do need to re-enter, to source some counselling again, with the aim of getting myself in a better place. And I hope that any of you watching will support me through that, if I can find a way through. I posted online recently that it would be nice to receive an old-fashioned handwritten letter through the post, and to feel that sense of glee and excitement when you look at the doormat and see your name and address in personalised penmanship. And a few people actually reached out to me and sent me lovely letters. And this week I've had the pleasure of taking some time out, sitting down and replying. I spent very happy couple of hours scribing, writing, fully immersed in crafting a tangible, very personal communication one-to-one. That was wonderful, really, really wonderful. And I still check on how I'm feeling each day. So I write, a few lines each day, just to check in with myself, to focus, to pause, and to be in tune with my emotions. The important thing is that we keep talking, keep in touch with how we are feeling, and realise there is no shame in struggling, no shame in feeling anxious or nervous, and absolutely no shame in asking for help. I hope you all stay safe and well. I always love hearing from you guys, having some interaction with you. So if you want to comment or get in touch, please feel free to, and I'll hopefully talk to you next week. Take care.